They had only one mantra: learn, learn, learn. They said life is not a race, it is a journey.
Namaste. Welcome to Sarga Samvad, a series of dialogues with inspiring Indians. And I'm delighted to have today with me an inspiring Indian, Professor V.S. Ramamurthy. Professor V.S. Ramamurthy is an eminent Indian nuclear scientist with a broad range of contributions from basic research to science administration. During his illustrious career from 1963, he held many coveted positions of Government of India. He has made important research contributions, both experimental and theoretical, in many areas of nuclear fission and heavy ion reaction mechanisms, statistical and thermodynamic properties of nuclei, physics of atomic and molecular clusters, and low energy accelerator applications. In recognition of these services to the growth of science and technology in the country, Professor Ramamurthy was awarded one of the top civilian awards of the country, the Padma Bhushan, by the Government of India in 2005. It's a pleasure to be with you, Professor Ramamurthy. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So, sir, let us begin with the town of Tiruchirappalli or Trichy in Tamil Nadu, where you spent your formative years. Can you tell us any stories of how your parents influenced you?
I always say that I am an average Indian. I come from a middle class family in a middle class town, Trichy. You mentioned Trichy. There were two important lessons which I would like to point out here from my parents. Number one, they had only one mantra: learn. Learn, learn, keep learning. Doesn't matter what you learn, but you must learn. That was the one first lesson I got from them. The second, which is I think is equally important, they said life is not a race. It is a journey. So do your best. But don't worry what your neighboring student is doing. So if I come back and say, Mom, I got first rank, that's very good, congratulations. Mom, I said, I got fifth rank, very good, congratulations. Mom, I got 20th rank, very good, congratulations. Makes no difference what rank you get, it has no value. What matters, did you do the examination well? Did you get good marks in the examination? That's all that matters. So effectively, they, right from very early days, I never looked at life as a race. I don't care what the other fellow got. I care what I get. Do I get what I want? I strive for it. If I don't get what I want, I work harder next time. Makes no difference what the neighboring boy or a girl or a family got.
So let's move from your home to your school. Who were your favorite teachers and how did they inspire you?
I went to a school which is called ER High School. ER High School is one of the oldest schools. It's 100 years old today. It was started by a humble teacher almost in year 19,000, I think. So when by the time I joined, the school is already more than 50 years old. And it's not a high-profile school, but good quality school. Teaching was considered to be a good quality teaching. There used to be one person called Narsimha, very pious man. We used to have that standard dhoti with what we call as panchakacham, had a tuft and a huge tilak in the thing. It's a very religious man, and he used to teach us mathematics. First thing is, what can you do with what you have learned? It doesn't matter what I teach you, what you learned. What can you do with it? Does it mean anything to you? And see the big picture. You'll always say, you must ask yourself, why have you learned this? See the big picture. And then you will know what is the use of this. He was the one who to tell me about the mathematics besides Srinivasa Ramanujam. Many of you might have read that Ramanujam when he was in the high school in Kumbakonam, not far from Tiruchirappalli, his teacher wanted help in preparing the timetable. Timetable means teachers are available, lecture theatres are available, days are available. You have to do it without no conflict. Otherwise, the same teacher, if he is required in the 2 classes at the same time, you have a problem. So he used to apparently take the help of Ramanujam to prepare the school timetable for the school. So he gave me in good detail how Ramanujam did it and all. Then I knew what was coming. He said, "Nah, do it for our school." So I had to spend a week trying to find out how to manage this, manage the teachers, the classrooms, the laboratory, the library, playground, because we have limited playground, everything. And I was able to do it within about a week's time. I'm not sure whether he really used it because the school was going on. He must have just wanted to give me something to do as an assignment and give it to me. How many other people he gave the same problem, I do not know, but at least I got the problem. There was another teacher by name Ratnamaya. He was not considered a great teacher, but a good teacher. The main thing I still remember about Ratnamaya is his message is be socially conscious. Your life doesn't end with you are sitting in the classroom, going to school, going back home and time with your parents. No, you are in a society and you must be conscious of the needs of the society and what you can do for the society. Then I joined the St. Joseph's College. Yeah, this is one of the oldest colleges. Today is almost 200 years old. Huge, very old college. It's a heritage college in the whole country. And I used to do my pre-university, BSc and MSc. 6 years I spent there. There was one professor, he was a Jesuit father, Reverend Father Irdayam. He was the vice principal at that time. He was also the head of the physics department. And one day at 5 o'clock, I am struggling with my experiments. I am not getting what appears right. It's already 3 hours are over. I'm struggling. This man is watching from the back. So at 5 o'clock he came. Hey, what happened? What are you still doing something here? I said, sir, I did this experiment. I got this result. I know this result is wrong, but I have done everything properly. What do I do? He had a cynical smile in his face. This was a simple pendulum experiment. Cynical smile in his face and bent down and pulled out a magnet from the bottom of the table. He has put a magnet there so that my gravity G will not be correct. So there was a simple pendulum is not giving the right result because there is a magnet under the table. And he says, I know when somebody does it here, if they when they don't get the result, they don't struggle. By 5 o'clock, they will have an answer ready with the correct answer. I wanted to know whether you do it. You have not done it. Very good, congratulations. Number one, you get 100% in this examination. Whether you get the result or not is not important. What you have done is correct. But irrespective of that, whatever you do in life, do to the best of our abilities. Cheating doesn't take you far. So these are the things which I remember in my early formative days.
So now, sir, let us move to what was then called Bombay, now Mumbai, Bhabha Atomic Research Center, where you began your professional journey, and with Raja Ramanna as boss. What was his style like? Anything you can tell us?
Bhabha Atomic Research Center, at that time Atomic Energy Research Center, was a very highly reputed center. And I got selected for their training school. 1 year training they give and then they absorb me in a research group. So I was lucky enough to get selected for that. I went through the training and I joined Dr. Ramanna. Dr. Ramanna was already a well-known scientist at that time. He was the head of the director of the physics group and he subsequently became director of the establishment. Then he became secretary to the government of India. Then he became a minister of state in defense. The first thing he said is, we are living in an era of fast-changing technologies. Now, nuclear physics has just come in there, and every day you get something new in nuclear physics. It's not something which is which is talked about for a long time. So he used to say, hey, listen, yesterday's expert will not be an expert today. He has to also learn. Yesterday you were not there, you have to also learn. So on any day, yourself and expert are on equal table. So don't worry about any expert or anything. You are learning something new. He is also learning something new, and learn together. So irrespective of his age, irrespective of experience, you learn together. This is the first message I got from him. The second thing is, have faith in yourself. Don't ask, is it right? That you will not know, I will not know. We have to work together to find out. So don't ever ask me, am I right? Convince yourself what you are doing is correct, and then we will discuss whether it is right or wrong. So his message is, be on the learning process all the time, and be aware that your boss is equally ignorant of this, and he is also learning with you. So learn together. He used to say, there is no, when do I finish? He said, no, there is no end to learning. You start learning when you are born. You will stop learning when you die. It's a cradle to grave exercise. Learning is a cradle to grave exercise. So continue learning every day and have confidence in yourself. There is another thing which he used to tell me. He said, chase anomalies. Chase anomalies. What does it mean? You are in a room, you are giving a lecture on a subject, any subject. Everybody agrees with you. You feel happy, of course. But Ramana used to say, be happy, but this is not what you should be working on, because everybody knows it. There is something trivial which you are telling. For politeness sake, they are laughing and smiling, but you have not added anything to their value. It's a waste of time. Okay? Everybody rejects it. Everybody says, this fellow is talking nonsense, this is wrong. No, don't get disheartened. Maybe you are making a mistake. Go back and look. Just because everybody says no, it doesn't mean no. It only says re-look at it, re-examine it, re-study it, do it again. 50% agree with you, 50% disagree with you. What do I do? That's where you should be in. He used to call it an anomaly, and he said, chase anomalies. That is where you are likely to make a new discovery. I carried that till my end. Even today I do that. I always chase anomalies. There is a problem somewhere, Ramamurthy will be there. If there is no problem there, I give a tally and get off from there, because there is nothing useful there. Right? This is a lesson which I got from Ramana. I also got several other lessons, not necessarily directly from Ramana, but from the Babatam Research Center. And they used to have a new laboratory called modular laboratory. Right? This laboratory is almost half a kilometer long. A very long building, and in between there is a corridor, and there are rooms on either side, on the left, on the right. So total there used to be about 300 rooms in one ray, another 300 rooms on the other side, totally 600 rooms, and there were 3 floors like that. That means something like 2,000 rooms in one building. You have a problem. You don't know how to solve it. You can't solve all the problems. You don't know what to do. So what you do, when you go for tea, you keep on discussing loudly, obviously, no? Keep on discussing, this is a problem, I can't solve this problem, I don't know what to do. Keep doing. Then suddenly somebody will appear. But what did he say? This is the problem, I can't solve it. Oh, this is very trivial. What do you mean? I have solved this problem before. This is how you solve it. So you have solved the problem. If we can't do that, he will say, don't worry, so and such a room knows how to solve this problem. Go there. So we go there, and he will tell you how to solve the problem. Many problems we solve. Say, for example, we were doing nuclear physics. I have a problem in electronics. The instrument doesn't work. Somebody will tell me, go to that room in the electronics division. Such and such a fellow in the electronics division, he will fix it for you. To go and behold, you go there, he solves the problem. So there is a huge interaction of people with different specialities. This is a culture which I value very highly. I wish there it is in every institution in this country, but it doesn't exist. We all see each other as competitors. We don't see each other as a part of the same team.
Yeah, yeah. No, beautiful lessons and beautifully articulated as well. So, sir, how do we bring this spirit of interaction of modular lab to schools? Do you think we can bring that?
This is something which I learned when I moved to DST. I moved to DST in 1995 as Secretary Department of Science and Technology. The first lesson I learned is the following. The country is full of scientists with very high level of expertise in different universities, in different departments. But they don't work as a team. The team spirit which I used to experience in the Babata Medicine Center, the modular canteen corridor was missing. There was no such corridor in the country. So today, even today this is true. There are groups in our universities who are experts in specific areas, right? But no two groups come together. They're all individual groups. I always say this is an academic silo. You know, there's a wall, tall wall, and you're inside this. On one side, you have solutions. They know how to solve that problem, but they don't know who needs to solve that problem. So there are solutions looking for problems. On the other side, there are people who don't know how to solve a problem. They have a problem, like in industry, they have a problem, but they don't know how to solve that problem. So there are, on one side, you have solutions looking for a problem, and you have problems looking for solutions. Both exist in the country. Maybe in the same university, maybe in the same department it exists, but it exists. So I was trying to bring in the culture of what we call as the intermediators. They know what is a problem. They know who can solve it. They try to bring them together, right? And make them work as a team. Effectively, it says you need a technology intermediation mechanism, right? This was what was missing, which was required. Otherwise, we have all the capabilities in this country, but we don't make money because of this. The other thing is how to make money with your knowledge, right? So you need to convert it into a business proposition. I was once talking to one person who was the president of University of California. They were just visiting India, and they, as a Secretary Science Technology, I had an tea with them. There was a lady. Said, ma'am, your guys, they're doing so well in innovation and entrepreneurship. 20% of the Silicon Valley fellows are from India. But I don't get even 2% of the fellows in India making the same kind of money. Why? Why is it our students do well in California and not so well in India? Is it the air? Is it the water? Is it the food we take? Is it none of them? I'll tell you what is the reason. He gave one simple answer. He says, your students know a lot. They're very knowledgeable, no question about it. Right? They don't know why they know it. They never ask them, why am I learning all these things? I know, I'm the expert in this, I'm the expert on that, I'm the expert on that. They never ask, what can I do with that expertise which I have got, which we ask, which you fellows don't do that. That message was very strong on me. I said, yeah, this is something which we need to worry about. So on one side, we have to strengthen innovation culture in this country, and we have to strengthen entrepreneurship in this country. These are the two messages I got from that lady. We also knew it before. I said, no, we must do something about it. DSP should do something about it. So in 2020, we came out with what we call as a National Innovation Foundation. This is a small group from the Ahmedabad Institute, Management Institute, which said, we will go around the country and find out what are the innovations, who is doing it, and where it is being used. Right? Basically, scout for innovation, not necessarily only in high technology, high science, everywhere. They call it grassroots innovation. Everywhere, it's very close to the public. So today, if you go to National Innovation Foundation website, close to couple of lakhs of innovations have been captured, documented, and validated in that website. I do not know how many of you are aware of a man called Uddabh Bharali. Uddabh Bharali. He has, to his credit, something like 150 innovations of day-to-day things in his village and township. Okay, he started innovating when he was in the school. Today he is about 55 or something like that. Okay, his first innovation was when he was in the school. NIF located him. Okay, then when they were in this discussion, NIF was also has a national competition on grassroots innovation. Why you only recognize highbrow science? Let's also recognize innovation. So grassroots competition. In 2012, the winner was Uddabh Bharali. National competition in grassroots innovation. He was the top, number one. The exhibition was held in Rashtrapati Bhavan because of interest of Dr. Kalam for things like that. He received the award from Dr. Kalam and he was recognized as a top innovator in the country in 2012. In 2019, he was awarded Padma Shri for innovations, for grassroots innovations. In fact, when his name appeared in the newspapers on January 26, many eyebrows were raised. Who is this Uddabh Bharali? We have not heard of him. Then you will not hear because he is from Assam. He is not a professor in any institution, doesn't have a PhD, but he has a big, long list of innovation, grassroots innovations. DST has a program called Inspire. The program says identify academically good students across the country, top 3%. This itself is about a few thousand, not 10,000. 10,000 students are there. So many institutions are in the country. Top 2% of that is still a large number. Every one of them is given a scholarship, enabled to continue their education. Every summer, every winter vacation, they are nurtured. This is a huge program of DST in human resource development. They said, why can't I have a similar program for innovations? Let's identify young Uddabh Bharalis in the school who have a flair for innovation and nurture them. So this program is called DST Inspire Manak program. From every school in the country get 5 such innovations. Then they are filtered at this local level, filtered at the district level, filtered at the state level, and filter something like 50 such in the national level. Right? And in the 50, you select the best. And every year, an award is given to the best innovation. School children. Right? Every child which participates in it gets a cash award of 10,000 rupees to continue with their interests. Every child. That itself is about a few thousand easily, few tens of thousands. Right? Now, because the students are from schools, there are teachers who are after this. They are asking, hey, what is innovation? How can I promote innovation among my students? Right? And so this is a program which is likely to have a major impact on the innovation scenario in the country. I mentioned innovation goes together with entrepreneurship. You have to convert that knowledge into a business proposition. We do have a good entrepreneurs, starting from Ambani's. Dhirubhai Ambani was at the bottom of the ladder, but today is on the top of the ladder, right? There are entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurship per se is not a culture which is very much encouraged in this country. I always say, if I get a new idea, I go and start a company. So that's not cheap. To start a company, you must have a place, you must have connection, electricity connection, you must have water connection, something like 50 certificates and no objection certificate, put all this and start. At the end of it, it doesn't succeed. What happens? Right? I lost all my money. Right? Now, in United States, if you lose all your money in a new entrepreneurship like this, you add it to your CV. I tried something, it failed, so I've closed it, I'm coming again for the next one. People will appreciate, this fellow has the courage to try something. But in India, even my wife will not look at me if I fail. Right? Cost of failure is extremely high in this country. This has to change. It's slowly changing. It's slowly changing. So effectively, entrepreneurship requires hand-holding, support, and an ecosystem where people don't look at failure. If a technological failure is not a fraud, right? A business failure is not a fraud. Fraud is fraud. You have to handle fraud. Today we handle all of them as frauds. This is the biggest handicap we have in this country. We are trying to change it. Now, how to change? Number one, there are a large number of entrepreneurship parks are started in our education institutions. By DST, Department of Science and Technology, has a large number of entrepreneurship parks. In more recently, you have this Vajpayee centers, innovation centers. No? That's also there in the high schools. This is supplementing that. Second thing is, you have technology business incubators. They tell you how to go about, what kind of clearances are required, who will provide the finances, how to manage incubators. There are, of course, you need money. So we had, for example, in DST, the Technology Development Board. So we have the Technology Development Board, BIRAC from the Department of Biotechnology, and several other institutions in the government which give some financial support for new ventures. Now, many of you may not know, in fact, probably nobody knows, we are all in the middle of COVID-19, right? Now, there is one vaccine which is made and designed and made in India, Covaxin, BARC Biotech, all right? They almost came almost at the same time as the rest of the world, all right? Now, BARC Biotech did not exist before 1995. It was a company which was supported by the Technology Development Board to establish a facility to manufacture vaccines. They started off with hepatitis B vaccine, they went on to rotavirus, and today when the need arose, they are also developing Covaxin for COVID-19. So this is a very effective instrument which was created under the government flag.
Yeah. You also say that we are not ready to nurture gifted children. Why do you say that? And what do you think we can do about it?
During my tenure in DST, I came across a few students in the age group below 10 who are definitely different from the average 10-year-old. But at the same time, I realized that the system, the education system, has not been extremely fair to them. Right? Many of them are forced to do homeschooling. Many of them are forced to drop out as failures in the class. Right? This is something which was very painful to notice. So then when I looked at it, when you take a cross section of students, let's say 100 students in a class, not all are of the same level. Some are fast learners, some are average learners, some are slow learners. It's a very broad spectrum. And our entire system is tuned to cater to the middle. The top, whether you are a fast learner or whether it is a slow learner, you are left to take care of yourself in some way. Right? This is a general thing. This is I always say, if you want to buy a shoe, you don't go to Bata shoe and say, I'm 13-year-old, give me a shoe. You say size 7 I want. I want size 9. It's always size of the foot, not your age, which matters. But in education, we are still going by the age and not by the requirement of the body. the poor learners are taken as really poor learners, and almost they get they get support but no nurturing. But on the other hand, we are aware, for example, one of the major musicians from Bombay, he used to say, she noticed that people with autism have an additional capability to learn music. The story goes, she was giving a public performance. At the end of the performance, many people come and congratulate her for the excellent program. One lady came, then, Madam, you did a fantastic job. I liked that very much. And that particular song I really loved it. There was a small kid standing by her side. He said, no, but she made a mistake. That child is an artistic child, doesn't even go to school. He only keeps listening to his mother singing in the house, right? So that lady said, no. Why do you say that? Keep quiet. No. This musician said, no, let him say what he has to say. Can you tell me where I made a mistake? He said, this place you made a mistake. And that musician said, yes, I noticed it even when I was singing. I thought nobody will notice. This artistic child noticed it. Where does he get nurturing as a musician? He is taken as autism and thrown out of the school. There is no alternate arrangement for them. Same thing happens for the fellow who is fast learner. You are a fast learner, you don't fit into this classroom, you become a nuisance in the classroom, you ask questions which the teacher cannot answer, get out of my class. Most of them are sitting and doing homeschooling. And one thing which I learned was, by homeschooling, with parents who are not trained in handling this, by 20 they are finished off. Their capability is gone, drained out, and by beyond 20 they loiter around. This is something which is number one. It's an expensive loss of talent in the school. It's a highly unjust way of handling a fellow who is a talented person, right? Even Ramanujam went through that. You remember, Ramanujam did not get support from India till he went to UK, right? For 2-3 years, Ramanujam was loitering around in Puducherry doing nothing because nobody will support him. Other cases, our mathematics genius Shakuntala Devi. Shakuntala Devi was a genius to start with. He was beating the computers in the international flow. And at the age of 60 or 70, and she said, if only I had some good mentoring, I would have evolved into a mathematician. Now I am looking at horoscopes and things like that. It was from Shakuntala Devi herself. So this country has not yet learned how to handle our children who are extremely talented.
Okay, so sir, what is your message to school children? Most of the viewers of this is going to be school children. So what's your message to them?
No, there are 2 or 3 children, 2 or 3 messages which I was leaving behind all along this last 1 hour. Number one, learn anything new. Second, as I mentioned, always apply what you learned, link it to the day-to-day living. Learning is not an exercise in isolation, it is letting you do something better than what you are doing now. Third message, don't work in silos, interact. Who needs your expertise? What can you do to help him? Right? And if you help somebody, it is not that he is the beneficiary and you are not. You are also a beneficiary along with him. So don't count everything in terms of what benefits I get.
Yeah, learn, apply, and interact, sir. Beautiful way of putting your messages together. Very nice. And sir, one last question. What do you like about Agastya, and what's your message for Agastya itself?
Okay, the strength of Agastya is they are closest to the floor, but their potential, both in terms of numbers and in terms of intellectual capabilities, is very large, untapped. This country has not tapped them. Institutions like Agastya alone can do it. So I do see a very strong capability for Agastya to interact with the maximum number of students, relevant students in this country.
No, very nice, sir. In such a short time, you took such efforts to put, the entire journey and learnings of your life and wisdom and shared with all of us. It was, really nice. And it was really a pleasure, to listen to you. Anything before we close, anything you feel like telling us?
Not really. What I left as a message to Agastya, I would like to leave it as a message to the whole country.
As well. Okay, fantastic. So really nice and, taking your time to share all this. Really appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah.